Hey guys, what's up? My name is Nicky and today finally I get to talk about my favorite 2021 reads. 2021 has been quite the game changer for my reading life. The last time I read this many books was my last year at school. So that was a good 5 years ago. So back in 2017, I think I read about 38 books. And after that, it was just a downfall where I read, 10, 8, 5 books a year, which is kind of humiliating for someone who does love books. University really prevented me from enjoying a good book, just sitting down and doing nothing but reading a book. I did manage to read 51 books in 2021. Now, is that a lot? Not really, but it's a lot more compared to what I used to read, which makes me really happy. So here are some of the books that really changed me and the way I think during 2021. Now, first and foremost, I'm going to talk about my favorite series of all time, the books that really made me feel like home, and I read them during a really difficult moment of my life when it was my last exam session. It was really stressful, and that was the ACOTAR series. Out of all these books, I only have the last one as a physical copy. Now, I think this book is so controversial because there's people who love it and got immersed in the world and they're not getting out, and then there's people who just think it's smutty. So these books are young adult books. I'd say 16 and plus, 18 and plus, kind of depends on how you grew up. The new generation is a lot more updated, let's say. I'd say 16 and plus. Now, I'm one of those people who had the, I think, extreme luck to fall in love with the books and feel part of the family that Sarah J. Maas has created. I hadn't felt like this, like being super immersed in the book and not wanting to get out of the books, not wanting to get out of the world, to leave the characters behind. I hadn't felt that in such a long time. I felt like the books were such an amazing way to get out of this world that it has become a little problematic, let's say. And these books were just my escape. And for those 2 months that I read them, I felt at home, I felt comforted, and I hadn't felt that in a long time. So are these books smutty? Yes, they definitely are. The thing is that some people say that these books don't have a plot. Now, of course, you're free to feel whatever you want for a book. This is just, this is just an opinion. I saw so much more than smut in this book. I saw a plot, I saw a family, which is the most important part for me. I saw a family, I found home, and this is why these books are so important to me. Now, the second favorite series of all time is From Blood and Ash. 3 books in the series. In 2021, I read 2 of those because I was not ready to read the 3rd book and then have no other book to read. So I left it for 2022, which I did read the 3rd book. Shit! It is smutty. Okay. Now, what I give this book credit for is how it managed to shake me out of my seat and almost made me faint. And I was at the beach house with my family. I had about 200 pages left, maybe 150 pages left to read until the book ended. And my mom tells me, let's go for a walk. I'm like, oh God, no, not right now. Like, this is an important part. But anyways, I consider that, okay, I don't want this book to end. Let's just go for a walk, calm down, and then return to read the last books. As we start walking, my mom calls my grandma, so they start talking on the phone, and I say, okay, that's a good opportunity to just continue listening to the book. We're walking down the coast. I'm listening to the book. The plot twist happens, and I stop midway in front of people in the middle of the street. And I'm just standing there like this. And like, no, this didn't happen. No. It's an audiobook, you can't really stop it. I have to take out my phone and stop it, and I can't do it because I'm already frozen. And I think, what? I felt like I was betrayed by a family member. I felt like being cheated on, and I've never even been cheated on. I don't know how to describe this, but I really felt this is the strongest betrayal I've ever felt, real life included. How do I persuade you to read this book? Well, here's the male protagonist. Hello. And second of all, we have this amazing, stereotype-breaking, radical female protagonist that is curvy. Come on now. She has scars on her face, she is curvy, she's not the typical trained, super built female protagonist. You know, this is what really shakes me out of my skin. Like, this is incredible. This is amazing. I loved her. Like, I really kind of feel for her. I'm really empathetic towards her because I do understand her. Like, okay, I'm going to start by a book that troubles me to this day, and I've read it about 2 months ago, I think. And it still kind of makes me skeptical about several things, and that is Verity by Colleen Hoover. Now, this is the first psychological thriller book that she writes. The book starts becoming scary, and I'm kind of freaking out, and the end comes, and I have been scarred for the rest of my life. The author doesn't give you the answer of what is true and what is not, but she lets you think about it yourself. Like, who would you believe? And then the truth resurfaces, and you don't really know who to believe. How do I put this? I think Colleen kind of tried to raise awareness about abuse, domestic violence, and other kind of relevant topics. And, you know, I'm really apprehensive about it because I don't know what to believe. I know what to believe, like I think I know what to believe, but no one really gives you an answer about it. It's a wonderful book for a book club if you participate in one of those, when you can really exchange ideas and beliefs and see who believes what. This book kind of really freaked me out, and it was an amazing book. So I definitely recommend it. Since we started with Colleen Hoover, I'm going to continue, and the second book I want to talk about is All Your Perfects. So I didn't know much about the book for a very long time until I finally decided to read it because I saw that it was about infertility and miscarriage. Now, this is a very taboo topic in a way in some societies, and I don't want it to be taboo. So I read the book, and I think, you know, I'm not someone who's able to talk about this from a first-hand experience because I don't know what it's like. I think through the protagonist's eyes, I really got to see the struggle of not being able to conceive a child, and it was heartbreaking. I think that every woman at some point starts fearing, what if I can't have children? What will my partner think about it? And I think that this book handles the topic beautifully, heartbreakingly, amazingly. And it's, I think, something every woman should read because this is a topic that's not, you know, out of the universe, something that's impossible, that's 1 in a million. It's not 1 in a million. The odds are so much more of being unable to conceive children as a couple. Not just, you know, it's not always just about the woman who's not able to conceive. It might also be the man. He can't have children. That's it, you know. And how do you move on from there? Like, what do you do? Do you stay together as a couple and fight it together, or do you split up and find another partner that you might have chances of conceiving children? Now, the thing is that Graham has a small problem with his criminal record, which also doesn't allow him to adopt. So they also don't have that choice of adopting a child. And this complicates it all the more. And I think that is just a book that everyone should read. I am a huge fan of Colleen Hoover. There isn't one book I've read from her and didn't learn something. Like, I consider her one of the most impactful authors of our generation, and maybe for the next generations to come. Let's try to lighten the mood a bit and talk about The Spanish Love Deception by Elena Ahmers. I don't know how to begin with this book. Like, oh my god. Listen! Grab some popcorn and listen. Catalina, who works at a company in New York, and there's this awful guy, Aaron Blackford, who works with her, and they seem to hate each other. They seem to just not digest the fact that they work together. And the book starts by the fact that she has to go to her sister's wedding back in Spain. The groom is her ex's brother, and her ex will bring his new, I think it was fiance or just girlfriend, or he will bring a partner. So that means that she can't appear in the wedding without a partner. She needs someone to accompany her to the wedding. Fake dating trope. Love it. It was the first fake dating trope book that I ever read, and god damn it did I love it. I absolutely loved it. Aaron volunteers to go with her to the wedding as her fake date, but they hate each other. But Catalina has no other choice. This probably was my favorite romance book during 2021 because god damn it was so good. Everyone needs an Aaron Blackford in their lives, they just don't know it.
If I don't see this book turning into a movie, I'm not going to die.
let's move on to a read that's kind of not so broadly famous, but I think it gives you a really good idea of what Muslims go through. That book is Love from A to Z by S.K. Ali. I appreciated this book more about what it has to teach you than the romance. So we follow this girl Zainab, and she's a Muslim, she wears a hijab, and the book travels you through what it's like to be a Muslim and receive racism and hate for just believing in a different God than what others believe. Now, I do have insight on Islam in generally because of university, but I don't think that you need to know something from Islam to actually appreciate the book. Just go in with an open mind, and believe me, there's something to learn from the book. Now, another book that, you know, made me feel something. This year, I was just like in such a smutty mood. I don't know why. But this year, I read a lot of romance. But guys, seriously, after reading this many romance books this year, I'm going to end up alone. Why? Because I don't have a Hades from A Touch of Darkness by Scarlett St. Clair. God damn it. Now, first of all, I do have a very, 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 very soft place for Greek gods. Now, A Touch of Darkness is the Persephone and Hades story. So Persephone is this journalist, like upcoming aspiring journalist, and she moves to Athens to work at a company. And then there's Hades, the god of the dead, one of my favorite gods of all time, like goddammit. He has his own gambling empire, and it's rumored that his bets are impossible to fulfill. And then suddenly Persephone finds herself in a contract with Hades without even realizing it. And the bet is for her to create life in the underworld. Impossible. This book is here for the romance. Like, if you're looking for a plot, don't look for it. No, it's just for the romance. It's just for your unfulfilled fantasies and desires. It's not about the plot. Now, another trilogy that is not really oftenly discussed is the Renegades trilogy by Marissa Meyer. This trilogy consists of Renegades, Arch Enemies, and Supernova. Now, this book is all about superheroes, which is something that I haven't read in a very long time. And I did finish the last two books in the beginning of 2021. And all I have to say is that this story is so smartly planned. It's unbelievable. Literally, the way that the three books connect is just astounding to me. I don't understand how an author could pre-plan books so freaking well. So everything that you learn here, it's a bunch of crap here. This book changes everything you learned in these two books, and I enjoyed all three of them just as much. So this is another enemies to lovers, but light enemies to lovers books, because you have two different worlds. You have the anarchists, so Nova, and then you have the renegades, so the good people of the government who try to help everyone and bring peace to the Gatlin city. And you have Adrian, who believes in justice. But Nova actually hates the renegades. It's just incredible. It's perfect for any age, especially if you love superpowers. These books are for you. And finally, this was the last book I read for 2021, and that is The Six of Crows by Leigh Bardugo. To be fair, because I did read the Shadow and Bone trilogy and I didn't appreciate it. I did enjoy the first book a lot, but the second and third book were so, I don't know, they lost the concept for me. I didn't appreciate them. I didn't like them, but I was looking forward to reading Six of Crows, and I understand why I was looking forward to it. Carsbreaker is such an amazing character in so many ways. He's also very different from the usual protagonists that we see. They're muscly and built and really hot and, you know, just a definition of sexual tension. But then you have Kaz, who's totally different, but the author makes you fall in love with him. Kaz is not muscly, he's not built, he doesn't go to the gym every day, he actually has a health issue that doesn't allow him to be that way. You know, his backstory, his past, and the way he is right now. I don't know, I felt close to Kaz, to some extent, obviously. But, you know, the hatred he has towards touch, the fact that he can't get himself close to people. Something about Kaz made me feel really close to him and kind of really empathetic towards him. And when an author makes me empathetic towards a character, I do appreciate the book. So that was all for my 2021 favorite reads. I definitely loved the reading aspect of 2021. I think I read some pretty amazing and life-changing books, and I definitely did change as a person because of these books. I can't wait for 2022, so I can't wait to hear your 2021 favorite reads and maybe get some recommendations to my already very long to be read list. But it's okay, I would love to get some new recommendations because you can never read enough books. So thank you so much for watching, especially if you watched up until now. This really means a lot to me, and I'll see you in my next video. Peace out!